with Kevin Kiner, composer of the Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. So Kevin, Star Wars has some of the most iconic music in history. How do you approach scoring something like Rebels when there's so much, music history already ingrained in the saga?
Well, we rely on quite a few of the original themes that John laid out in the movies. But then we had to take it farther, and we have some new themes that I composed for the Rebels themselves and for the show. And it's, it's a challenge. The music gets a lot of attention in Star Wars,
Yeah, it really
and
does.
there's some big shoes to fill. But it's a joy to be working on Star Wars. It really is.
What would you say is the most rewarding part about working on the animated series?
Well, I think now that we're doing Rebels, we're starting to go back to music that sounds more like the original. Yeah, like the trilogy did. And that's been really rewarding for me because I've made kind of a career of, studying that sound and being able to execute that orchestra. And that's just, it's really, I love doing music. That's why it's my job. So it's kind of a dream job.
And you're really good at it.
Thank you.
So I monitor the social for Star Wars, and I see people complimenting the music all the time. I mean, they absolutely rave about Rebels soundtrack. What has the fan reaction been like to you? What have you seen?
Yeah, it's very positive. I think it's because, I hope, it's because I'm a fan first and foremost. And when you're a fan, you want to do right by whatever it is you're working on, and there's some good history, and I don't want my ego to get in the way of that history. So for me, there's a sound that Star Wars has, and I try to stay true to that.
What other influences do you have when you're creating music for Rebels?
Well, I think I have the same influences that John Williams has in that, Stravinsky, Rimsky-Korsakov, Korngold, all the great classical composers. And many times I'll go and listen to that, and there'll be just a lick, maybe a flute lick or a trumpet lick or something like that. I can use that for Kanan or something, and it happens very often.
Now, I've picked up, and I know the fans have picked up on it too, little tastes of other films that we found in Rebels. I know there was one sequence where you kind of played with Raiders of the Lost Ark a little bit.
Yeah.
Are there any other Easter eggs that we should be listening for?
Yeah, definitely there was the Raiders thing because and that was kind of a direction that we got. It was kind of an adventurous scene. It's so we're just doing something in season 2 where we reference the Jaws soundtrack. I'll say
cool.
I can't really say what the scene is because it's coming up, but it works very well.
We'll be watching.
Yeah.
How long does it take for you typically to score an episode?
It takes me about 2 weeks, maybe sometimes less, but usually it's about 2 weeks.
And is that about the same as it was for the Clone Wars? What are the differences between the Clone Wars and Rebels now?
Well, in the Clone Wars, we were trying to bring in a lot of ethnic percussion, ethnic vocals, ethnic flutes, different things like that. We're not doing that in Rebels. We're going back to the trilogy. But in terms of my writing process, I'm writing for an orchestra, and I'm still writing Star Wars music.
Now, you just mentioned you were writing for an orchestra. Have you worked with a full orchestra for any of the episodes?
Sure.
Yeah.
The last episode of season 1 we recorded in Prague, and we've recorded. Coming up, we will probably go to Budapest or somewhere like that.
Very cool.
So and we have live guys on every episode. I mean, there's always live players.
That's fantastic. I mean, and you've done such an amazing job capturing not only the sound but the feel of the original trilogy. I mean, when you listen to this soundtrack, you really, feel like you're in Star Wars. And a lot of fans have been asking if we're going to be able to have the soundtrack at any point. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything for sure, but I think the fans should keep asking.
Me too.
And I'll keep asking.
I think they should keep asking too. So Thank you for coming by, guys. Kevin Kiner, Star Wars Rebels. Make sure you watch it. You'll be at the premiere tonight, and it's going to be amazing. But Star Wars Celebration Live 2015, powered by Verizon on StarWars.com, will continue in just a moment.